Hey everybody, Dr. Rick here dropping in on you. Hope everybody is having a great week so far. Hope you are getting your week off to a great start, your year off, as a matter of fact, to a start that will lead to the things that you want. Look, I'm not going to be long talking with you here. I'm leaving the office on the way to the house. Spend some QT with baby. And finish up some things I need to get done. But what I wanted to talk to you about real briefly is this targeted fundraiser for Black Men Lead. If you have followed me, you've paid attention to my content, you've read my books, you've been aware of the work that we do in the community, the programs that we have developed over the last 20 plus years, in some case 30 years, through the Odyssey Project and other entities. You are aware of how important it is to me to influence positive change as it pertains to Black manhood. I believe that Black men are targeted. I believe that we are purposefully miseducated and put in situations to where we cannot develop completely and pro-socially in a way that serves us. And I have been out for years talking about the work I do through Black Men Lead, and support has been at a minimum. We are having a targeted fundraiser. The goal is to raise $10,000 by the end of the week. It hasn't gotten off to a great start. We started it a couple of days ago. Hasn't gotten off to a great start. We right now are at $100. And to the person who donated that, great. Those who donate $100 will get a Black Men Lead hoodie. Everybody who donates over the course of the week, which ends Saturday at midnight, will receive a certificate of appreciation from the Odyssey Project. And I know it's not much, but it is a token of appreciation, and we are working with what we have. But let's talk about why it's important. We love to complain about all the things that are going wrong that we can blame on Black men. Fratricide, how Black men, young Black males specifically, are killing each other. Or on an even more focused note, intimate partner violence and intimate partner homicide. The proclivity to be violent towards our women, sometimes without provocation. I shared a video a couple of days ago of young black males surrounding young Black females as they get out to go pay for gas at a gas station and harassing them beyond measure, and thinking that it was cool and having it celebrated and everybody's laughing, and not seeing the level of disrespect, the level of terror that's caused by that. And it's something that is celebrated amongst a large group of males, from just little small things that simply are not conducive to developing into a mature Black male capable of taking on the responsibilities of Black manhood, which is by far the most latent of any male responsibility of any race. We have so much stacked against us. We have so much that's going on. We have so many different things that we have to deal with. Mass incarceration, marginalization in the workplace, being underemployed or unemployed, all these different things. Then we have our families needing us and depending upon us. We have a responsibility to our homes, to our communities. We have a responsibility to be providers, protectors, and so much more. And we have to do it within an environment that is constrictive. And yet here we are with counterproductive behavior that is a reflection of underdevelopment as men. And we think that we can just wish it away, or that we can just, oh my God, it, or shaking my head and make it go away, or by simply pointing the finger and saying, look how horrible you are. No, this is a result of our failure to properly socialize young black males. It is a representation of our failure to positively and forcefully withstand the forces outside of ourselves that push us towards that type of behavior. You got to remember, black males are alienated in the school system as early as 5 years old. There's a reason for that. But we cannot become victims of it because it's aimed at us. We've got to be prepared and to withstand these type of situations. When I created Black Men Lead, it was with the understanding that we needed to more effectively and consistently and on a universal level socialize our young black men into what it means to be a black man, because being a black man is different than being a man in any other race. And so here we are, and this is what I'm talking about. We need to be very, very clear with our young black men on what it means to be a protector. And I don't mean that simply in the form of protecting your girlfriend or your wife. I'm talking about to be a protector from the time that you move into physical maturity, being able to look at a situation and understand who you're supposed to protect. You need to understand where that level of aggression comes from as you begin to go into puberty and your testosterone levels go up and you become stronger and bigger than your female counterparts of the same age. It's not meant for you to dominate her. It's not meant for you to become violent towards her and to take out your anger and frustration on her. It's meant for you to be a protector of her. She is depending on your physicality and your willingness to put yourself between her and harm for her to feel safe and do the things that she's designed to do that only she can do at the highest level. We need each other, but we need to be teaching these young men. First principle in Black Men Lead that we teach young black males: a black man never causes harm to a black woman, regardless of age. So from the youngest to the oldest, the black woman should feel safest in the presence of a black man. Right now, that's not the case if we're going to be honest about it. And there's absolutely no excuse for it. I don't care. And like I tell people all the time, the way that I treat black women has very little to do with black women as much as it has to do with me and my black manhood. I don't look at a woman and gauge her and say, well, she carries herself this way, so she gets this much of my respect, or she carries herself that way. Now, depending on how she carries herself will determine how much of my time and space she gets. But while she's in it, she's covered. Now, I'm not going to have her in it a lot because she'll have me in situations because she needs to heal. There's some things she needs to do to put herself in a better situation. And because she's not there, she'll constantly have me in a situation where I'm putting myself at risk to cover her. So I'm not going to be around her a lot because I understand the risk. But when she's in my presence, she doesn't have to be perfect to be covered. She doesn't have to be behaving at a level that I would look for in my wife to be covered. That's not how it works for me. It works for me in the simple way that I know that as a man, I have a responsibility, and a lot of how I carry myself and how I move and how I behave with black women is going to have a determination on how the black women in my periphery blossom, grow, mature, and come in. If I provide the right environment, you'd be amazed at what happens. You just will. It's easy to point the finger and say somebody's not doing this, but when you are labeling yourself as a leader, when you're labeling yourself as a head, when you're labeling yourself as a provider and you are the king and all this other stuff that we like to claim, that's a hefty responsibility that comes with that. And it's not the responsibility does not in any way entail pointing fingers and pointing blame. It's like, okay, this is happening under my watch. What am I going to do about it? And the thing is, you're trying to dominate something you were never meant to dominate. And a lot of it is you're trying to push for submission. Submission isn't an act of forcing anyone to do anything. Submission isn't an acquiescence of self to fulfill whatever you want. Submission is actually a responsive nature that a woman has, that when a man is doing the things that he's supposed to do, she feels safe enough to come underneath him. And I don't mean underneath him like he's higher. I mean underneath the covering that he provides, to where she can find her security, and then she can blossom. And when she blossoms, let me tell you something, that's something exceptional. That's something extraordinary. But what we have to understand is it requires both of us to be at our best. And I don't see how we can ever expect a black woman to be at her best when she doesn't feel safe. And so I am again telling you that I want to strengthen the impact of Black Man Lead. I want to expand the reach of Black Man Lead. I want to create a national network where a black male, no matter where he is, will have access to the proper mechanisms and models that will allow him to grow into a strong, functional, pro-social black male that is a part of the solution and not the problem. Once again, we're asking you to support the work we're doing here at the Odyssey Project, and specifically in Black Men Leading. We're asking you to support it. The goal again is to raise $10,000 this week. That $10,000 will go primarily to program enhancement, materials, which include books, field trips, mental health evaluations, so many different other things that goes on. But more importantly, the ability to move around and literally move into different geographical locations and develop these programs. And I've had people contact me from Wilmington. I've had people contact me from Charlotte. I've had people contact me from Chicago. I've had people contact me from a couple of different places in Florida, Atlanta, about these programs. Obviously, I'm doing it here in Texas and a number of different cities, and I've worked with black males all over. There's not a day that goes by that I'm not contacted by a black parent, predominantly black women, about bringing in their son and having me work with their son. So I'm doing that on a level at which I can resource it, but it needs to be done on a grand level. We need to train people. Training is a big part of what will be covered in this cost. Training people to understand and know how the program works, understanding and knowing how to deal with you. Because, you know, it's one thing on the socialization side where you're going through the rite of passage program. You're starting with 4-year-olds and 5-year-olds, and you're bringing them in the program. And you'll introduce some older kids, 7, 8, or 9 in the program, and have to put them on the fast track. But you're still talking about kids. The big issues are coming in when you get to the 11, 12, 13, and 14-year-olds who have already picked up bad habits, who are already angry, who are already hostile towards themselves and others, and then being able to do that. That's a way to handle those kids. That's a way in dealing with the massive research I've done, being able to glean from great minds like Dr. Howard Stevenson, the University of Pennsylvania, Dr. Joy DeGraw, who very few people know works on this, African-American adolescent and young adult male violence. Matter of fact, she created the first scale, respect scale, because we found out that the feeling of being disrespected is the number one cause or trigger for violence in African-American adolescent males, is the feeling of being disrespected. And so she created the African-American disrespect scale, which when you understand it and you use it, will allow you to predict the risk of violence in any particular male by being able to take them through that scale and assess where they're at. Also, when you do it enough, you begin to understand when something is about to happen. If you can figure it out before it happens, you can stop it. And there's a way to stop it. Some simple ways that are unbelievably effective. And no one would ever know it because no one's taking the time. All we want to do is talk about how horrible they are. Nobody wants to talk about the possibility of changing things. It's easy to complain. I see it in the other work I do. People complain about their finances. People complain about their marriages. People complain about their work conditions. Nobody does a damn thing about it. I have never been that person. I've never been the person that's going to sit up and complain. I'm going to get out there and figure it out. or I'm gonna die trying. Either way, I won't be sitting still waiting on life to change for me. Same thing with these young black males. They're worth fighting for. Matter of fact, it's not just about them being worth fighting for. If we don't do something about it, these young black males are wreaking havoc on our young black girls. One thing I've been saying for a while, our sons are killing our daughters. That should be enough to make us want to focus. But nevertheless, I'm going to get off of here. I just had to bring that to your attention. Again, this is Black Men Lead. We're pushing to raise a minimum of $10,000 by week's end. Right now, not doing too well. We've raised $100, which is norm for the course, which is why things have always been the way it is. And it is what it is, but I know that it's possible. I just want to see that change happen. I want to see something. I want in my lifetime to be able to see what it looks like to have this program on steroids, to be able to say to every parent that comes to me, we have a solution for you. I have the solution. I don't have the resources, and I can no longer put my family in jeopardy. I've got a lot of things that I have going on, and I'm going to make sure that my family's okay. I've done that enough. I'm not doing it anymore. I made that announcement about 1.5 years ago. But I'm still going to love and fight for my people. I'm just going to do it within reason and respect to my family. On that note, look, I'm out of here. Thanks for stopping in and listening. I hope everything's going well. Stay tuned. This isn't the end. We're going to keep pushing this. Whether we end up where we're at with 100 or we get 200, 300, 500, we actually hit the goal. My thing is, it's way beyond possible. It's just whether or not we're going to do it or not. Whether or not listening is enough for us, or commenting and liking something is enough for us, or if we're really truly going to sit up and say, you know what, it's time to make a difference. And on that note, look, I'm out of here. I will be back and talk to you at some other point. Maybe not today, but definitely no later than tomorrow. On that note, I'm out of here. You have a great day.